Fani Willis is going down, folks. She's going to get disqualified. Just my guess, but I have to believe it from what we've heard and seen over the last week between her and her boyfriend and all the witnesses that have come in and done nothing but been caught in the lies that are or corroborated the truth of the matter, which is the fact that they've been doing the nasty since way back before this whole Trump thing got started, meaning that she's paid her boyfriend to go after Trump. That's the bottom line here, folks. We've got ethics issues, and hopefully we'll get some disqualification out behind it. But this here is a good video, folks. It's a little bit long. Not going to say too much. I just want everybody to check it out. This gets really good.
We've been listening to closing arguments in the misconduct hearing into Fulton County DA Fani Willis from lawyers for Donald Trump and his co-defendants in Georgia's 2020 election case. Joining me now to discuss what we heard is NBC News legal analyst Catherine Christian. She's also a former Manhattan Assistant District Attorney. Catherine, I have so many questions for you. Just broadly, how do you score the defense's closing arguments, what you've heard so far?
Well, I just have to say the state is going to have to bring it on because one after another, not every lawyer was, on top of it. I thought Mr. McDougal ending was in many ways one of the best, as he outlined, as he said, the 6, ways that the DA's office, and particularly DA Willis, had conflict with interest: financial, political ambition, conceit and concealment, her church speech, her protective order that she submitted in her, it's another thing, her boyfriend. How many times has Mr. Wade been referred to as the boyfriend as he's sitting there in the courtroom, and it's driving me nuts that he's sitting there.
I have to ask you about, can I jump in and ask you about these different conflicts? Then I want to ask you about Wade himself. Harry McDougal made an argument I hadn't considered before, and it's that the idea that the DA's office, by involving itself not only in Nathan Wade's personal privilege assertions, his assertions of attorney-client privilege, but also Nathan Wade's personal divorce action, may have also created a conflict. What did you make of that argument? Because it's something I had not thought of before.
I thought it was great. I immediately, when he was saying, we both sort of looked at each other. That's right. She files a DA Willis files a protective order in her boyfriend, Mr. Wade's divorce case. They were asserting the attorney-client privilege on behalf of Mr. Wade. So when the objections that were being made were not made by Mr. Wade's personal attorney, they were made by her prosecutors. And I think that's inappropriate. He had a personal attorney there in the courtroom. That attorney should have been making it. So it was a very thorough outlining of their position. Now, we haven't heard from the prosecution,
right,
but they did, I thought, a very thorough job of, and they started off saying to the judge, we don't need an actual conflict, we just need an appearance of a conflict. And they went through what their allegations of her violations of all the ethical rules. They named about 6 different rules of professional responsibility that they say the DA Willis violated.
And just really quickly, I wanted to ask you, Nathan Wade, he's in the courtroom. What do you think of his presence during these closing arguments?
He should not be there. He should not be on the trial team. He definitely should not be sitting at the table there, right in the face of the judge and everyone else. I don't know who made that decision. If he made it himself, someone above him should have overruled him. He should not be in that courtroom.
Let's Axios senior political reporter Eugene Scott. Eugene, talk about the politics of this. If Willis gets disqualified, how big of a victory will that be for Trump and his co-defendants?
It'll be massive. I mean, this is what he ultimately wants to happen and has tried to get to happen since the day that Willis announced that she was moving forward with this case. He's taken to social media. He's taken to his rallies. Conservative media and many of his surrogates have tried to argue that Willis doesn't actually have a case, but that this is motivated by her politics. And that's what you heard earlier today in some of the closing statements, that she has issues with Trump's stances perhaps on race, maybe even on gender, and other issues that are viewed as perhaps more liberal and more left-leaning. And therefore, that is why she wants to make things difficult for the former president. So if this actually ends up not being something that Willis is able to move forward with, Trump will cite it as a victory. He'll campaign on it. And, you know, it'll very possibly help him with many voters in Georgia who perhaps thought that he was guilty of what it is that Willis is saying he has done.
Again, you're looking at a live feed of Fani.
That's all I got for you, folks. Tell me what you think about Big Fani and the future of Big Fani. And will Trump prevail? Will Big Fani go down? Tell me in the comment section what you think below. It actually does help with the algorithm. It helps spread the channel out a little bit. Get the new listeners in on the show as well. Over and out, folks. Have a good one.